My name is Katie Wistes. My mother is Sharon Wistes, and she'll be coming out after a little bit with our big pot of milk, and we're going to make cheese. I have had goats since I was 12 years old. So how many of you guys are 12? All right.
We're close.
Yeah.
Close. Okay.
Close enough, yeah. So I started milking my goat when she had her kid, and I had to milk my goat twice a day, every day. And I've been doing that pretty much since I was 12 years old. So now I have 3 goats that we're milking, and we have 6 baby goats out at my farm. We also have dairy cows. And so my mother and I make cheese out of our milk. I have Nubians, Saanens, and Alpines. So my Saanen goats are white. My Nubians have very long ears, and and they've got a big nose. And the Alpines are usually black and white, and they milk a lot. One of my goats, who is 4 years old, gives a gallon of milk every milking. So that's about 2 gallons a day. She milks a whole lot. And I would like to show you guys just a little basic cheese demonstration so that you can get an idea of what's going on when my mom shows you later on. Okay, so I have 2 glasses of milk here. And milk, does anybody know what's in milk? Just shout it out, whatever you guys think is in milk.
Calcium.
Calcium, yeah, so a very small amount.
Protein.
There's protein. There's about 3.5% protein in milk. Yes? Yes. There's lots and lots of water. So whatever, isn't protein and everything else is water. So there's a lot of water in here. What else do we have in here? There's also fat, because this is whole milk. So there's about 3.5% fat in this as well. And then there's some other odd minerals and salts in there, but the most important things you guys got. So I also have 2 other little bottles. This has lemon juice in it, and this has what's called rennet in it. And this, I barely brought any at all because you don't need very much, but this is a protein, and this comes from a vegetable source, but traditionally it comes from the stomach of a baby lamb or a baby goat or a baby calf. And this will react with the proteins in the milk and make it form into a big clump. And this is an acid, so this will also react with the milk and make it coagulate. That's when it clumps up, but it does it in a very different way. So I'm going to show you guys what happens when we add lemon juice and rennet to milk. Now it's going to take a while, so we might have to get my mom out here before we see much happen, but you can see they're both really liquidy right now.
Is it cold milk?
It's just cold milk,
It's
yeah.
cold milk. From the fridge or?
Just from the fridge. It was probably fresh this morning, milked out of the goat. So other than ricotta, which you will see my mother make, we also make mozzarella, which you have to heat up and stretch. It gets long and stringy. And we make feta cheese, which is very salty. I also make cheddar, which I'm sure everybody's eaten. It takes a long time and it's really hard to make, but it's very delicious. And I make a smelly cheese called tome. I wash it with salt water, and an orangish type of bacteria grows on it, and it smells really funny, but it tastes really good. So in cheese making, it's important to know that bacteria can be really good and it can be really bad. So what you try to do as a cheesemaker is promote the growth of really good bacteria. So like the orange bacteria is a good one. Has anybody ever had brie cheese? Yes? It's got that white mold on it. That's a good mold. And there's anybody else think of any other kinds of moldy cheeses? Blue cheese, very good. Yes, that is a very particular type of mold that's very good and very tasty. Now, I'm gonna take this around, let you guys see. This is where I put the lemon juice. So you can see it's starting to get particles in there. And that's what the lemon juice is doing. So this is what the acid has done to it. See those little particles in there? Eventually the whole thing is going to be like a big blob. Gelatinous kind of. Like jello, milk jello.
Goat milk and I warmed it up to 200 degrees. Now I'm going to add apple cider vinegar. And what's going to happen is it's going to separate, the whey will separate from the fat.
And it goes pretty fast.
Yep,
Keep watching.
See, look at that.
It's yellow now.
It's yellow, that's the whey, but look at all the chunks. Yeah, it went that fast. Yeah, see, look at how it's separated. Now we're gonna separate the whey from the cheese with our cheesecloth. Yeah.
Won't it catch the cheese?
It'll catch the cheese, but the whey will go through it.
Cool.
The whey, well, you can use the whey to make the cheese that Katrina was talking about.
Just explained about that.
Yeah. Or you can feed it to pigs. And some people drink it too, like buttermilk.
Look at that.
Cool.
Does that look good?
Yeah.
And it's nice and warm.
Is that cottage cheese?
It looks like it, but it's ricotta.
All the stuff we had was the strawberries yesterday? Yeah. That's what we had. Just looks like cottage.
It does, doesn't it?
So that's what we did. Ooh, it smells good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Now when I get this all poured in here, I'm gonna lift the cheesecloth up, and then you guys have to count to 60 because it has to drain for 1 minute. Okay, start in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Okay.
And I just want to show you guys, while she puts that in there, the stuff that's left in here, that is the whey. That you cook it up and stir it, and you get that wonderful, beautiful gold.
Okay, then I mix 1 teaspoon of baking soda in here. So look how it foams up. And then we'll take butter. This makes it nice and creamy tasting.
How much milk did you start out with?
I started out with 2 gallons of milk.
And you're putting in 1 stick of butter. No, not quite 1 stick of butter.
6 tablespoons.
6 tablespoons. She's good. She just scoops it right in. So she adds in some butter.
And because the cheese is hot, it'll melt that butter up.
I just want to eat. Me too. I want to eat that so badly right now.
It is really good on bread and crackers. And if you make lasagna, it's really good. Instead of using cottage cheese, you can use this.
Monica,
You're welcome.
yeah, cheese.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna taste some
You want to taste a little bit?
Really good. Great. So what do you think of the cheese?
Really, 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 really good. It's like cheesy, but not cheesy.
So what do you think of the cheese?
Hi, hello, hello, hello.